Hello and welcome to the Retreading Business YouTube channel. In episode 3 of the Retreadcast, we took a virtual trip to Louisville, Kentucky, where we spoke to Doug Conley, the president of Shamrock Marketing Inc., the retread equipment and accessory supplier. Here now is that interview in full. Today on the Retreadcast, we're very happy to welcome the president of Shamrock Marketing Inc., Doug Conley, who joins us from Louisville, Kentucky. Doug, it's great to see you and welcome to the Retreadcast.
David, great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Not at all. Well, let's begin with a subject that's on almost everyone's mind at the moment. The last few months have been difficult for most business sectors because of the COVID-19 crisis. How's the pandemic affected your business? What measures have you implemented to mitigate any negative impacts? And what are you doing as a company to support customers during this difficult time?
Well, the COVID-19 is certainly not something that I think anybody had in their business plan. So it took our company, as it did, I think, everyone, by shock. And once we shake things off and have a look around, we took all the measures that needed to be done to make sure, first and foremost, that our employees could work safely. So we implemented work from home procedures, and we made sure that there was hand sanitizer throughout our office for those of us that were coming in, and spacing and even masks that were available for everybody. So that was the first step. And once we had gone through that, I found it was difficult to get accurate information as to what was happening in the marketplace, what was happening with the pandemic, how it was spreading. And TRIB really became, the Tyre Retread and Repair Information Bureau became a very good resource for my company and many other companies, where there wasn't a lot of political spin. It was just facts that were needed for companies to navigate the pandemic. So I really found a lot of value in what TRIB did during that time period to help us. As far as what we were doing for our customers, of course, we communicated as much as we could to say that we were open and active for business. Fortunately, our industry was deemed an essential service, so our customers were open and operating, which meant we could continue to be open and operating. And we did things such as special discounting or special extended terms for customers that required it. But we also had an opportunity where we had access to hand sanitizer. And the short version of the story is a friend of mine in Louisville who does food processing was commissioned by the state of Kentucky to convert his operation to produce hand sanitizer. And so he gave me an option to be able to buy hand sanitizer. And so what we did is we were able to provide free hand sanitizer to our customers, our colleagues, and even to local firehouses here that had a shortage of hand sanitizer. And at the same time, I have, on the personal side, I have 2 young daughters who, for them, just like the rest of us, COVID-19 can be an awfully scary thing. So in thinking about that, I wanted to see how we could try and give back and spin something negative to something positive. And my girls hand painted these little Shamrock labels for me, and we converted them into the painting into labels and put them on the bottles that were going out to our customers and friends and colleagues. And we included a little story about how that came to be. And the kids liked it because they think they're famous now, which I suppose they are in some degree. But it was a good way to give back and say thank you to the retread community for continuing to be the front line, and a good way for us to be able to give something to folks that was hard for them to find during the pandemic. So those are the things that I think got us through it, or getting us through it, I should say.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Well, Shamrock Marketing has a strong position as a supplier of retreading equipment, with close relationships with the likes of TRM and Akmakina in Turkey. How was the machinery market developing prior to the pandemic? How is it now, and how do you expect it to be in the near future and in the medium term? Do you foresee, for example, an explosion in the availability of second-hand equipment?
Yeah, so I think that prior to the pandemic, there was a hunger in the marketplace for efficiency and technology. In my opinion, that's what we saw. And we'd had some success in the last couple of years, in particular, uh, most recently in the OTR segment with our friends at TRM in Italy. We sold a very nice high technology uh, cut, tread, and buffing machine to H&H Industries in Ohio, and that was prior to the pandemic. But if when things start to open up, the delivery of that will happen hopefully in Q3 or early Q4 of this year. Uh, and there again, H&H was looking at how do they invest in the future and become more efficient. And TRM does a very good job of offering those types of solutions. Aside from that, another big project that we're excited about that's very technology based is in today's tire market for truck fleets. The fleets lack the data that tells them how much tread is remaining on their tires when they arrive at the retread plant. Mm-hmm. So some tires get pulled early and too much tread is left, and sometimes tires are pulled too late and not enough tread is left. And in either case, you're leaving money on the table. The trick is, in the traditional way of measuring a tire, you take a tread depth gauge and you take a random sample, and sometimes, most of the time, only one spot on the tire. You don't really know, what the data is on that tire. And so, again, with TRM, and we've come up with a technology that's going to allow the fleets to have that information and know how much tread is left on the tire and if they have to adjust when those tires are being pulled. And we've teamed up with a big franchise retread group here in the US on an exclusive basis. And we've got prototypes in the field now, and we'll be launching that through the next 18 to 24 months. And it's a very exciting solution because there's been nothing like it prior to this in the marketplace. And it's going to drive differentiation for the group we're working with. And it's going to drive fleets to become much more efficient and save hundreds of thousands of dollars on their tires every year. So those types of projects are new and exciting, and I think that's where the investments are for the future. As far as the traditional retread equipment market, I think it's been very tough for several years. The influx of cheap offshore tires from China coming into the U.S. market had hit the market very hard over the last 4 or 5 years. And so the pandemic, I think, sort of exasperates that. And directly to your question, yeah, there is a overflow of older used equipment in the marketplace, and probably a lot of that's going to end up as scrap steel or scrap metal. So.
Okay, I note that you're relocating your equipment warehouse. Tell us something about that.
Sure. So, well, it comes from a couple things. So, on June 1st, my final business partner and one of the founding partners of Shamrock retired, and that I became the sole owner in Shamrock. And so, with that, there's a lot of changes and things that we're looking at to becoming more efficient and looking to the future and what is best for the company as a whole. And part of that is making a move. So we're moving to a new facility that should provide us with better logistics, quicker delivery to the local distribution hubs in Louisville, and make us overall more efficient as a company. Moving in the middle of a pandemic is has been challenging, and it's obviously ticked the stress level up a little bit higher on top of everything else. But I think coming out the backside of it, which we will be on the beginning of July, will be a big relief, and we get focused back on the main business. In the meantime, it does prevent a buying opportunity for anybody that's in the market for some of the equipment we have in our warehouse, because we'd rather put it on a container or a trailer and ship it to a customer than ship it 10 minutes down the road to our new facility. So we have been advertising moving sale. We do have some equipment left. It's been picked through pretty well, and fortunately we've been able to sell quite a bit of it, but we do have a little bit left. fact, Friday we're sending out another mailer with what's remaining. So hopefully we get it sold.
Absolutely. You were recently appointed as a distributor for Vulcan Vulcap. How's that working out?
It's been, we finalized the deal with Vulcan just in February during the OTR conference here in the US in California. And we inked our first deal, and in the middle of planning the installation of the deal, everything shut down. So we got off to a good start, but it's in a holding pattern right now because of the pandemic. But Gilles Wadi and his folks are great people, and I think he's got a very nice product portfolio, and the Vulcan brand has a good name, and he's done a good job revitalizing it and bringing it back top of mind to people. So we're excited to be part of that, and we have a positive outlook as to being part of that growth. So as I say, it's our first deal, and in the middle of planning the installation of the deal, everything shut down. So we got off to a good start, but it's in a holding pattern right now because of the pandemic. But Gilles Wadi and his folks are great people, and I think he's got a very nice product portfolio, and the Vulcan brand has a good name, and he's done a good job revitalizing it and bringing it back top of mind to people. So we're excited to be part of that, and we have a positive outlook as to being part of that growth. So as I say, we got interrupted by the pandemic, but when we come out the backside of it, we're quite optimistic with the Vulcan folks.
Great. So another question, you have a very wide range of products for the retread sector. Tell us about some of the more recent products you've added to your range.
Well, we've expanded with some key brands that we wanted to team up with to strengthen our portfolio. The REMA OTR group, which is headed by Jeff Young, we've made a nice arrangement with them. We've worked with REMA for years, but now with their OTR segment, we're working to grow that with them, which also fits in nicely with Vulcan. We've also teamed up with the LG group, and we're offering some of their products now to the marketplace, which is exciting. And we've done some work to specialize and improve some products. We've got some key approvals with Michelin in particular. We launched an entire new catalog that has all the approved products that for the Michelin recommend group. So we've really had a focus on that. And beyond that, we've started to look at services. We've said, well, how can we differentiate ourselves, and where is there a need in the marketplace? And our guys, our team in Latin America in particular, has created what we call an audit program. And so what it does is it provides an opportunity for a set of eyeballs outside of the people that own the business or the people that are running the business to come in and objectively look at, where are the efficiencies, where are the inefficiencies, where could there be savings without making an investment in equipment or any major technology. Just what are the procedures, what are the processes, where are the bottlenecks, and we quantify it. We say, look, based on the data that you've provided to us and we've gone through, we say there's a potential of $5 savings per tire when we get in there, and then we identify how that can be achieved. So that's exciting. We've got that under contract with 2 clients now, again interrupted by the pandemic, but once the pandemic loosens up, our guys will be in there and we'll grow that side of the business, which is exciting. And then we've launched an expandable rim refurbishing program. There's a bit of a void in the market for that, at least in the United States. So now we have expandable rims that come in, and we can do a full refurbishment, rebuilding the whole 9 yards. And we plan to continue to invest in that and grow it because we believe there's an opportunity there. So those are more service side of the equation, and we believe that as we go into the future, that's where there's some opportunities for our particular business.
Okay, just changing the subject just a little bit. You as a company are very active on social media. So how important do you feel that social media is going to be for companies like Shamrock in the future?
Well, I think social media is the future for marketing and brand awareness. So it's very important for a company like Shamrock's or any company that's marketing either B2B or B2C or nonprofit or whatever it may be. So for us, we've invested there. We've become more active in the last 24 months and tried to transition from traditional style marketing like postcards and mailers, although we do still do some of that, to the social media platforms. And for any company to build on that, like Retreading Business has done with the Retreadcast, and move from a traditional magazine being mailed out to digital platform to now social media and podcasts, Retreadcast. Those are the steps that you have to take. That's where the eyeballs are. That's where people are continuously on their phones. So we have to be where people are looking. So and we've also done that with Trib, and Trib's become very active with Twitter and LinkedIn and the other social media. So, and the trick is, which platform do you have to be on, and things have gone from Facebook to Instagram to now TikTok and wherever the future will be, and that's the trick of it is where are the eyeballs and how do you get there. So that's new and what has to be learned, but we look to sort of the younger generation to give us that guidance, and then try to execute on it. So
absolutely, you really do have to be right on top of the changes in the trends on the social media these days. That's for sure. Finally, Doug, what are the key aims for Shamrock Marketing in the future? Where do you expect the company to be in 5 years from now?
Well, in the near term, in the next 1 to 2 years, we really want to refocus on our core products and build our traditional business with the right brands and the right partners and alliances. So we're taking a very hard look at that and how to best achieve that. And then beyond that, I think technology is going to be key, whether it's scanning technology that tracks things inside a retread plant, or tread depth measurement units like I described earlier, or robotic automated arms inside a retread plant. For retreading to go to that next level, it's going to have to look more like a Ford assembly line than a craftsman working on a tire type of thing in the future. And there's all kinds of reasons for that, but that's where it's going to go. So we want to be part of that. We want to drive that, and we think we're aligned with the right folks to do that. And to my earlier point, we also believe that there's an opportunity on the service side. A lot of retread plants today, just like any business, have inefficiencies. And in my business, I'm always looking to mastermind group and other people for ideas and feedback, and how can we become more efficient. And I think that hunger's there. So we want to try and fill that void and be part of that. And in the 5-year term, we also have to look to diversify a little bit. But that has to be the right opportunity, and probably something that touches our existing industry. But that's how I see the next 5 years for Shamrock.
Doug, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Many thanks for joining us. We appreciate your input, and we look forward to welcoming you back on the Retreadcast soon.